Hi friends, it's Deanna here today, and today I've got a cute little pattern for you today. Today we're sewing the Trendy mix and match doll pattern. This is super cute. It's actually 3 different pattern pieces. Well, not pieces, there's more than 3 pattern pieces, but 3 different patterns in this set, and we're going to sew them up all today. So I'm going to be doing them all individually so that if you have the skirt but you don't want to sew up the top and the pants, you can just go ahead and watch that section, or if you want to, whatever section you want to watch, but we're going to sew them all up today, and I'm super excited because this is such a cute set, and I love sewing cute little doll clothes. So let's get started. All right, today we're going to start with our skirt. We've got our skirt front, our skirt back, our pockets, our belt loop, and our waistbands, front and back. All right, here's my skirt front. We're going to grab our pocket liner, and we're going to place it, that side edge, right onto our right sides together, and we're going to sew that on each side, both sides. All right, now that they've been sewn on, we're going to open it up and steam it open. And now we're going to grab our pocket outer, and we're going to place it right sides together with that pocket liner and sew that outer edge. I used my serger to sew those because I wanted it to be finished already, but you can go ahead and use your sewing machine and then finish it with a zigzag stitch. Whatever you want to do will work. Now we're going to take those to the back, so fold them into the back. This is the front. This is what it's going to look like on the back, just like so. You want those edges to touch here and here at the top and at the side of the skirt. Here it is. I'm tilting it over, and those edges will touch at the top and at the side. I'm going to turn it back around so you can see it from the front. You're going to want to give it a good steam at that seam right here. And then you can go ahead and go to your sewing machine and you can top stitch right along the edge of the front of the pocket. All right, while we're over there top stitching, I'm also going to head over to my serger and finish the side raw edges, and I'm going to catch my pocket, just this little bottom part, right in along the seam, so it's kind of basting it together. I'm going to finish the raw side edges of the front, and I'm also going to grab my back skirt and finish those side edges. Isn't this going to be super cute? I love this pattern of this fabric. I had a little bit of scrap and I thought, yes, look at how cute this is. When you're finishing that, when you're top stitching that, remember, you're not top stitching the pocket to the liner, you're just top stitching it itself. See that? You still have that little pocket opening right there in case the doll wants to put something in their pocket. But when I'm sewing the side seam, you see I'm finishing all this raw edge. You can do that with a zigzag stitch on your sewing machine as well if you don't have a serger. You just don't want it to fray out. Alright, so here's our front with its little pockets. We're going to grab our back piece and we're going to place it right sides together on top and sew those 2 side seams. While we're at it, I'm grabbing my waistband. This is my back. I put a little clip on it so I can remember which one's my back and which was my front. Here's my front. We're going to put them right sides together, and I'm going to sew 1 raw edge together. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put our skirt to the side. We're going to work on our band. We're going to go ahead and open it and steam that seam allowance open. And now we're going to go ahead and fold the band in half, wrong sides together. Now we're going to go ahead and open it again and fold it right sides together at the other short raw edge. Alright, it's been sewn. Now I'm going to fold it over again over that crease that I created. We're going to measure a 1/2 inch from the bottom. Go over to our sewing machine, and a 1/2 inch from the bottom, put in a straight stitch all the way around, leaving a gap, like a 2-inch gap, where we're going to insert our elastic. And after we do that one, we're going to measure from that first seam from that first line that we are going to do, we're going to measure up another 1/2 inch. So we're going to do one line at 1/2 inch and then measure up another 1/2 inch and do another line. And that's going to be our casing for our elastic. The first one you need to leave a gap. The second one you don't. You're just going to go all the way around. All right, so here's my little gap that I left open right here. You're gonna grab your elastic, which is gonna be 3/8 inch elastic, and it's gonna be at 1025 inches, but I don't have that size right now, so I'm using a really tiny elastic, but it's okay, it'll be fine. And we're gonna put it all the way around and encase it all the way around the waistband. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to grab those two ends of elastic and we're going to overlap them a 1/2 inch and we're going to zigzag stitch them together. My elastic was so tiny, that was a fun project. I almost should have just done it by hand. So now I'm going to go ahead and fit it right in. And then right here where I left that gap, I'm going to go back and stitch that gap closed. All right, here's our cute little waistband and our cute little skirt. I'm gonna turn my skirt right side out. And what I'm going to do now is we're gonna quarter the skirt and the waistband. We're gonna grab our waistband and we've got those two side seams. So if we match up those two side seams and we pull it straight and we go to the front, we got our front. And I like to use my scissors to clip a little notch so I can see it, and then match them up together again and go to the back. We're going to do the same for our skirt. Match up our two side seams and go to the back. Match up our two side seams and go to the front. Now remember that they have the pockets, so don't let the pockets come open because then it won't be an accurate description of the front and the back if they're wide open. Okay. So there they are. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my waistband and I'm going to fit it into my skirt right sides together and match up where those quarter points I just made. And then also remember when you're going to sew it on, you need to be stretching it out, the waistband, so that it sews nicely and evenly. And right here where the pockets are, if you are having a hard time with that, you can baste the pockets on first. If not, then just make sure that they're getting caught right there when you're going to sew them together. So I would go ahead and put a couple of clips there and make sure that they're good and caught right there. So if you pull it open, you'll see that little notch I created, and it's right here. That's gonna be so cute. All right, I'm gonna put this aside for a minute. I'm gonna go sew that in a minute, but I'm gonna put it aside so that we can grab our belt loop and go ahead and get this one prepped as well. Okay, I need my iron because essentially we're going to create binding. I couldn't remember what the word was. So we're gonna fold it in half first, wrong sides together, and create it and make it a crease. Now I'm gonna grab those two ends and I'm gonna bring them and meet them right at the middle. Now I'm gonna go ahead and grab it and fold it right at the middle. Now I'm gonna head over to my sewing machine, and at the same time I'm attaching the waistband, I'm gonna top stitch this down. Shoop. All right, we're almost done. We're gonna grab this belt, not this belt loop thing, and we're going to cut this into 5 equal pieces. So it's about an inch and 3/4, somewhere around there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah. So there's like a little bit left on mine. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to fold these 1/4 inch down on each side, and we're going to steam them folded like so. because then we're going to attach them to the skirt. Before I mark, I'm going to show you how to mark. Before I do though, I'm going to finish the raw edge of this waistband. I should have done that already with my serger. I don't want these little flecks everywhere, so I'm just going to finish that. You don't have to, and you can finish it with a zigzag stitch either way. But once I do that, I'm also going to finish this bottom raw edge of my skirt, because then after I finish it, I'm gonna fold it up and top stitch it for a hem, and we'll be done with that. But to locate the placing of the belt loops, we're gonna find the center. So here's my little mark. I'm just gonna go by that. That's my center. And then we're going to measure an inch and a half from each side. So I'm gonna open my waistband and go an inch and a half right here. Is one. Open my waistband and go an inch and a half to the other side. Whoop. So here's my other one, like so. And then we're gonna do the same. We're gonna put one right in the middle of the back, and we can put two in the side seams. But how we're going to sew those on, we're not going to put one right in the middle, but that was just to guide us. We're going to fold those 1/4 inches down. We're going to place it right where we marked it, and we're going to top stitch it on. And we're going to go back and forth and top stitch, back and forth and top stitch. And that's how we're going to attach all of them. But like I said, first I'm going to go do this raw edge and this raw edge. Then I'll go ahead and pin the rest of them and attach them. While I'm over there, I'm also going to grab my belt. I'm going to fold it right sides together. And I'm going to start sewing at the edge and go up and over all the way. But I'm actually going to leave a gap somewhere in the middle, like a 2-inch gap, where I can turn it around. And then I'm going to continue all the way down to the other edge and stop and turn up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that at the same time. That way everything is kind of getting finished together. All right, now we're going to grab our belt and we're going to turn it right side out. You can clip all these extra, seam allowance off if you want. I'm going to give it a good steam. And right here where we left that gap, we're going to tuck those seams in and we're going to top stitch it. At the same time that we top stitch that down, I'm going to hem my skirt. So I'm going to fold in my my hem allowance and steam it to have it ready. Now, the reason why when I was putting my belt, I did not attach this loop yet was because if you have a little child, there's a high chance that they might lose this tie. So we recommend that you find the center, and when you're attaching this loop, just go ahead and attach the waistband and top stitch it right there. So it's just attached to your skirt, so it's not going to fall off, so they don't end up losing it. So that's a good, neat idea. So let me go do that and hem, and we'll be done with our skirt. Y'all, our little tiny little skirt is done. It is adorable, super cute. Look at these little pockets. I love it. Let's move on to our top. I'm going to do the bodysuit version and I'm super excited about it. All right, for our top, we need 2 backs, 1 front, 2 sleeves. If you're doing the sleeve cuffs, and then your neckband. I'm doing the turtleneck. Okay, so you can go ahead if you want to add some interfacing to the back of your bodysuit. That will help keep it more stable, but I think I'm going to be fine. I'm just going to move on to the next step, which is to grab our bodice front. Oh, these studs are on it. And we're gonna place our bodice back, right sides together, add the shoulders, and sew. Now this pattern, as opposed to the skirt and the bottoms, it's a knit pattern, so you need to make sure that you're using a stretch stitch for all these steps. All right, once our shoulders are sewn, we're gonna grab our neckband and we're gonna fold it wrong sides together, and steam. And that's with either the turtleneck or the regular neckband. Find our center of our neckband. We're gonna do the same thing for our front of our bodice, match those shoulder seams and find the front. Now we're going to grab our neckband and we're going to match up that quarter point, the half point that we marked, and clip right there. And we're going to stretch our neckband all the way to the edge of our bodice, of our back bodice. So as we're sewing, we're kind of stretching it out to fit. And same for the other side. While I'm at it, I'm going to prep my sleeve. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to transfer my markings. So here's my marking for, this is a water soluble marker, by the way. And we're going to mark, this is where our elastic's going to go. And we're also going to mark where our gather lines are going to finish. So on each side, I'm going to mark that right here on both. And I'm going to grab my elastic and I'm going to mark 1.5 inches of each end. And the reason why we do that is to help me hold on to that elastic as I'm stretching it to ruche my sleeve. I'm going to stretch it from the top to where the mark is. So you need to have something to hold on to so that you can do that, because once we six stitch it on, it will gather up our sleeve and give it that ruched effect that we love about this pattern. You do know that we do have this pattern in adult size as well. So this is a really cute sleeve style and everything that you can even add to other patterns. So there is that. All right, so I'm gonna go attach the neckband and I'm going to put in a gathering stitch all the way along the top from mark to mark. And I'm gonna grab this little elastic. I'm gonna start right here at the mark and zigzag stitch it on, stretching it to the other mark. So I'm gonna stretch it and zigzag stitch it on to my sleeve. All right, I'm gonna grab right here at that inch, and I'm gonna grab that here at the back of the 1/2 inch right here, and just let my machine run it, but I'm holding onto the elastic. I'm going to show you what it looks like on the other side. Now I've got this cute little ruching right here on my sleeve. Now look at that cute little ruching. So cute. And then you'll just trim the rest of the elastic when we're done. But I'm also going to put in a basting stitch, which is just a long straight stitch on my sewing machine. I'm just doing a size 5, starting right there at the dot and going all the way around to the next dot. All right, here are my sleeves. How cute is that gonna be? And all these marker spots are gonna be removed, so once I wash it, so not to worry. And what I'm going to do now is, if you are hemming your sleeve, you can go ahead and hem it now if you want. But since I'm doing bands, I'm gonna go ahead and prep the bands as well, and then we'll attach our sleeve. So what we'll do is we're gonna grab our bands, and we're gonna do exactly what we did to our neckband, which is fold it wrong sides together and steam. Then find our half. Then we're going to attach it first at that half point right there. Whoop. And we're gonna stretch it towards the edges. Okay, and I'm gonna do that, but while I'm at it, I'm also going to go ahead and attach my sleeve now, so that way we're doing a couple of things at once. So here's my arm side. This is where my sleeve's gonna go. So the thing is, this arm side, if you can see on my shoulder is way bigger than my arm side. So how we're going to fix that is we're gonna mark this half right here, right sides together. So there's my middle. Okay, and then we're going to gather our sleeve where we've got these gathering points, the pieces that we gathered. We're going to pull on our basting stitch, and gather for my sleeve until my sleeve fits. So here it is, and then make sure that your sleeve fits around that arm side and your gathers are even. Okay, and we're gonna do the same to the other side. We're gonna grab our sleeve, we're gonna turn it this way, we're gonna pull that basting stitch to gather. And you want to put the bobbin thread is what's going to help you gather really well. If you're tugging at it and it's not gathering, a lot of times it's because you're pulling at the other side. Pull your bobbin thread and that will help you gather really nicely. And then make sure that it's even. This needs to pull a little bit more. Just a little bit. Make sure your gathers are even. Okay. And we're gonna sew that sleeve on. I keep trying to grab from the other sleeve. There it is. And we're gonna do the same for the other sleeve. I hope this close-up is really helping. I like to do this close-up version for the doll patterns because they're so tiny. It's kind of hard to see from far away. So that's why I do close up like this, not my usual style of recording, but I feel like this really helps when we're doing something that's more close up, that you want to take a better look at the situation. So comment below and let me know what you think. Do you prefer it when I do a close style like this, or are you like wanting to see my face and you miss it? Probably not. I think that this is more helpful when it comes to these little details like this. This cute little bodysuit is coming together. Look at how cute that is. Now, if you're doing the top and not the bodysuit version, then you could go ahead and hem the front and the back. Since I'm doing the bodysuit, what I'm hemming is the leg openings. So we're gonna go ahead and hem those leg openings. All right, now we're gonna grab our bodice and face them right sides together, and we're gonna sew that side seam. And while we're at it, we're also going to sew these two together. This is the back. The backs, this top part we're gonna leave because that we're gonna attach some hook and loop to it. But this bottom part right here, we're gonna sew with a stretch stitch, but we're not gonna serge because we're gonna open this seam allowance. So we're just going to sew it right sides together. I'm just gonna do a zigzag stitch on my sewing machine or triple stitch or something like that. And it's gonna be using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. All right, I am almost done with my bodysuit, and I am going to apologize now because this is all I have, and I don't have one long enough. So 2 things that you can do if you don't have some hook and loop that is long enough. What you can do is you can continue this stitch right here a little bit higher to where it matches where you have, and then you're going to have to cut out the seam allowance a little tiny bit here to match your seam allowance on this side, right? So what you would do is you would do that higher up, but I'm just going to show you how to do it now, but then you're going to have to forgive me because I'm not gonna be able to do it because of the fact that I don't have enough. What we're gonna do is you're gonna grab this side right here. If you're looking at it right side, wrong side out, it's gonna be the right side, and we're gonna fold it out, that seam allowance. See that? So the whole thing like this, and you can steam it open. And we're gonna grab the scratchy side, and we're gonna place it starting at the neckline right here all the way down. Obviously mine doesn't match because it's not long enough, and we're gonna top stitch it like this, so around the whole thing and open. Okay, now if your hookah loop is a little bit wider, you can always trim it to fit. Then on the other side, we're just gonna bring this out and we're just gonna attach it to the right side, and this is gonna get trimmed a little bit because this is going to overlap it. So when they're stuck together, this is going to be stitched that way, this is going to be stitched on this way, and it's going to go overlap like so. And for right now, I'm just going to clip and pretend that it's overlapping and sticking together. And I'm so sorry, I did not realize that that's all I had. But like so, and now that's done. Well, that would be attached to the back, right? Because it's sewn together. And then all we have left to do is, for your bodysuit, will be to sew this bottom part right here, right sides together. Sew it up, and we're done. All right, how adorable is this bodysuit? Look at those sleeves. I love them. It is super cute. And with my little skirt, that's gonna make such an adorable outfit. I gotta trim all these little threads, but that's okay. Look at how cute. Oh my word, I am obsessed with this little outfit. I might have to recreate this for myself, and I can, because we have an adult pattern for this and adult pattern for the top as well. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on and work on our pants pattern. All right, y'all, I went ahead and got a little doll because this set is adorable, and I put her outfit on. Look at how cute this turned out. I love the sleeve. I love the little skirt. She's got a little pocket, the tie. I think it looks adorable. So now it's time for us to go ahead and sew up her pants. So cute. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do, if you're doing pockets, we're gonna grab our front. We're gonna do this to the front and the back. We're gonna grab our pattern piece, and we're gonna mark where our pocket placement is. See it right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab my pocket and place it right where my pocket placement is. And we're going to go ahead and clip that on there. And we're going to sew them on. And we're gonna do this to the front and the back pant pieces. Whatever if you're doing just one pocket, you only have to do it to one side, but I'm gonna go ahead and do both pockets because they're so cute. All right, now we're gonna go ahead, and if you're not doing pockets, then you would just skip to this part right here where it is, we're gonna grab our pant, and we're gonna grab one, either the front or the back, and then we're gonna place the opposite on top of it. So this is not the opposite. They have to match up, but they can't be the same because then it would be both backs. We don't want both backs. We want a back and a front. So they'll match up on this side, but then the rise will be different. See how there's like a little gap right here of extra? Because this is the back and this is the front. So they're a little bit different. And now we're going to go all the way around. Now, if you're not doing a pocket, you would go straight down. But since I'm doing a pocket, I'm going around and down when I'm sewing. And we're going to do that for both pant legs. Now, once I sew, I'm going to go down, around the pocket, and back down. If you were doing no pockets, you would go straight, like I said. Once I do that, I'm going to open it all up. And I'm gonna sew around all the edges. I'm gonna finish up all the edges, all the way around. And around the side that I sewed up and everything. And I just wanna finish those edges off so that my fabric won't unravel. You can do that with your serger or zigzag stitch on your sewing machine. Or you can add a fray check on it or something like that if you want to. Or you can just leave it, it really is up to you. But because this fabric is, see, as you can see, it's woven, it's got this little frays coming out. I don't want it to do that, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish it. When you're done sewing, you wanna open it up and make sure there are no gaps. Your pocket is complete right there. As I get right here, I'm gonna go kind of farther down than my pocket, just a 1/4 inch where my seam allowance is. Then I lift my foot up and I turn my fabric, still a 1/4 inch right there, and then I go around. And I'm kind of moving it around as I go, that 1/4 inch. My thread got caught underneath it and it's pulling it tight. That's what it's doing. So I'm gonna move it out of the way. Right here. Okay, and keep going all the way around. Okay, then when I get back to the front, again, I'm going a little bit, a 1/4 inch in, lift up my foot, turn around, and then go straight down. I'm going around the whole side and finishing that raw edge. When I get to the pocket, I'm just kind of pulling it straight down and then slowly going all the way around. Same when I get to this side. Pull it straight down. I'm not gonna finish all the way around everywhere yet because I'm gonna do the hem first and then I'll come back and finish all the way around like I said earlier. But there's our pocket finished. You can't even tell it's there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and steam this seam so it's nice and flat from the other side as well. So I'm just gonna go like from both sides. And there's that pant seam. It looks so good. And then there is my pocket right there. So cute. Okay, so now we're gonna focus on our ankle elastic. Now this is an optional part. Obviously you could just hem it if you didn't want it to have elastic, if you didn't want it to be elasticated at the bottom. But it really is almost the same thing. You're just going to give it first, you're gonna do that first fold, and then you're gonna do another fold with it, which is your hem, that 1/2 inch fold for hem. So you would basically do the same thing if you were hemming, but right now what we're doing is we're creating a casing. So when we top stitch that down, you'll have this gap through, which we're gonna insert our elastic through once we top stitch it down. So I'm gonna do that for both pants. Let me tell you something else. Make sure that you're hemming the bottom and not the waist. Let me make sure with this one too, because yeah, see, the waist is the bigger part and this is the bottom. So make sure the bigger part, and here is the bottom, the smaller, the skinnier part. Your pocket is facing down, so your pocket will kind of point down towards the leg. If you hem the waist, then it won't work. So make sure that you're hemming the right end. And it's kind of harder when it is a little a doll pattern, because there's not a ton of difference between the top and the that was my clips going everywhere. There's not a difference between the top and the bottom, as much of a difference as it is on a doll pattern. All right, now that I've got that, I can use whatever, you can use a clip or a pin or whatever you want to use. I'm going to use this little turning tool, and I'm going to get my elastic to go in there. And before it reaches the end, hold on, I pulled it too fast. Before it gets to the end, come back. All right. Pulled it too far in. Bringing it right back. Okay. Before it gets all the way in, I'm going to top stitch it down right here. Back and forth stitch. And now I can go ahead and pull it all the way through to the other side. And then when it gets here, I'm also going to top stitch it down. And there it is, encased. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the same for the other leg, and then we're gonna go ahead and then I'm gonna finish off the raw edges all the way around the whole pant. All right, now that all the edges have been finished, we're gonna grab those side seams right here and we're gonna match them up and sew them together, right sides together. So this side seam here of the pant, and now that it's finished, you'll just go in right inside that finished edge. And we're gonna do that for both legs. All right, so now that we've sewn that in there, we're gonna grab one of the pant legs and I'm gonna turn it right side out and leave the other pant leg wrong side out. And we're gonna fit the right side out leg right into that other pant leg so they're touching right sides together. And we're gonna match up here at the crotch seam and we're gonna sew that crotch curve all the way up. And they should match. Now, if your front and back do not match, that means that you sewed up two fronts together, two backs together at the beginning. And so then you're gonna have to take it apart. Unfortunately, I've done that before and it's annoying. So hopefully I explained it enough so that you didn't make that mistake, because that is a very annoying mistake, but I've done it. I've done it. So then we're gonna go ahead and sew this right along that curve. All right, our pants are coming together. They're so cute. So then what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and fold the top at the fold line, which is approximately 2 inches. And we're gonna go ahead and fold that in towards the inside. So let me just turn these wrong side out because it'll be easier if I do it this way, because then we're just gonna fold down like this. Make sure that you follow your line. That was like 1 inch and a half. I need a little bit more. That looks perfect. Now we're gonna steam it and we're going to top stitch it first along the edge, and then we're gonna go open and we're gonna leave an opening where we're gonna insert our elastic, and then we're gonna do a 1/2 inch up and go and do a straight stitch all the way around. So the first one is right along the edge with leaving a gap for elastic. The second one is 1/2 inch up from that edge and all the way around. All right, now I'm gonna grab my elastic, my piece of elastic, and I'm going to insert it through that area that I left open right here. We're gonna go all the way around. All right, so then we're gonna go overlap these two together and zigzag stitch them together and close off that gap that we left, and we're basically done. Now for the belt. Now I am not doing belt loops on these pants. If you want to do the belt loops, I did belt loops on the skirt, so you can go watch that part of the video and do the belt loops. I am just going to make the belt, and then where the belt loops are supposed to be, I'm going to just stitch the belt on. So I'm gonna stitch it once in the back, in the center, and then I'm gonna stitch it on the sides a couple of times down so that the belt won't even come off at all. I feel like the belt loops, okay, so I'm making the strap, I'm sorry. I'm folding it right sides together and we're gonna go up and over and leaving a gap to turn it around, and all then keep going to the other end. I feel like the belt loops are a lot of work for a doll pattern, because they're so tiny, and because, I mean, the dolls don't really use the belt loops. So I'm cutting a corner around for the pants this time. But that's up to you if you want to cut the corner with me or if you want to do the belt loops, because, you know, the look is super cute. But I'm not gonna do it twice. My little pants are done. How cute. Let's finish up the belt. At this gap right here, we'll use a turner and we'll turn our belt around. Once it's turned and we've pulled out all these little corners, we can go ahead and tuck in that area that we left open, tuck it into the back, and you can steam it, and then we're gonna top stitch it down. Now our pants are basically done, but like I said, I think I want to just attach my belt. So like here on the back, I'm going to fold my belt in half and I'm going to find my back spot and I'm going to pin it right there. And I'm going to stitch it down right here on the back. And then I'm going to come around and stitch it right along, like on the edge, one edge right here. And then again, one edge right here. So then I can just, it won't come off at all. It won't have the loops, but it won't come off. You can still stretch it, and then we'll be able to tie it. I'm gonna steam this down, the straps, and I'm gonna attach them in those places. Just do a back and forth stitch right here, and on the back, and we'll be done. All right, my friends, we are finished with these cute little pants. Don't fall. Stand right there. How adorable did they turn out? This cute little outfit turned out so cute as well. I'm gonna change her and put her pants on so you all can see how cute that is. I love this. Now, comment below. I have not given her a name yet. So comment below what you think I should name her. What do you think her name should be? I don't really have very many ideas of what I want to name her. So let me know below what you think I should name her. And I'll let you know on the next doll video what I decided to name her. This is so cute. Now I feel like I need to make myself this same outfit. Like all of it. The skirt and the bodysuit. So cute. I love it. I'll show you. This is so adorable. I'm so excited I got this little doll because it's so cute. Look at her looking stylish in her pants. How cute are they? I think it's adorable. Let's move your hair a little bit so they can really see it. How cute is it? I love it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't so you never miss out any of these cute tutorials. Let me know what you think I should name her. I hope you have a great rest of your day and I'll see you all next time.